Ready?
Everyone's ready?
Yep.
So from a defensive perspective for you guys, what's your biggest concern when you go up against their offense?
Probably tackling. They do a great job of spreading people out with their scheme. They go up tempo. They've done a really nice job recruiting, so they've got very skilled athletes, and they put you in space. And so actually having to put a ball carrier on the ground, we'll see how well we do. We've really improved from springtime. I like where we're at, but now we get a chance to see it against top quality talent.
When did you guys first introduce the idea of maybe using some rugby techniques? We talked some about
probably
that earlier.
day one in the spring. Coach Wilcox, Coach Alexander had brought that from previous places they've been in, truly believe in it, and we've got our whole defensive staff, our whole team believe in it, and it's really had a dramatic effect on our tackling. From where we started in the spring to where we're at today, I feel a lot better about going into this game.
What's the most challenging part about having an unknown back of center for them?
The biggest challenge, I guess, is knowing what exactly his strengths are. We know all three of them are athletic. You've got to be concerned about the quarterback run game. The bigger issue we're worried about right now is just making sure we fit everything to their scheme. They go at a very fast pace, and they've got skilled athletes. So no matter who the trigger guy is, they'll major in something a little bit different depending on the strengths of that guy, and we'll try to figure that out during the game. But they're still going to run their stuff, which they've run for the last few years.
Do any 2, 3, or 4 of them share any attributes that you can maybe sort of, all right, well, we know that all of them can do this, so let's...
Well, I think all of them are athletic enough to run the quarterback run game off of there. The draws, the Zorro play. I think they all got live arms that can make the throws that they do in the RPO game. They got quick releases, so they run the NCAA offense where you got to get ready for everything.
And is that exacerbated by the fact that it's the first game, it's everyone in a new defense, and you're facing an offense that's been there for a while?
Yeah, but I think some of the same issues they have. They don't know who we are right now, and it'll be really interesting to see on Saturday. I think I know who we are, but until you get out there on a Saturday and see a true test, you really don't know.
Trubisky was so good in the intermediate routes and was so good with that quick pass, and what we've been hearing out of North Carolina is that these guys are a little more downfield oriented. How does an offense change when you switch from that type of guy who's obviously a first-round NFL quarterback to these types of athletic guys?
I think Coach Fedora's been doing it a long time, and Kapilovic, they know how to coach their guys up. So we'll just have to be able to adjust on the run to see where they're trying to attack us, and go from there.
How do you prepare for their team that likes to use tempo to their advantage?
One of the great advantages we have here is our offense uses tempo, and we see it every single day. We start practice most days with fastball, where we're trying to get 14 plays in 5 minutes. And when you get used to playing at that tempo, you get lined up, you make the call, and you make the communication pre-snap, and you go.
Does that help you guys as coaches also?
Oh, absolutely. It makes me a better play caller when you're having to make those defensive calls. You've got to think on the run. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about Coach Wilcox's program is something we didn't do at other places I've been, but it really helps you out.
One of the guys who's listed as a starter on the depth chart now is Cam Good. You said back in the spring that, hey, this is the kind of guy that we want to recruit to play this position. How has he grown from the spring for you?
Well, he's playing much faster. His technique's gotten much better. We identified him in the spring as a guy that we knew would fit this system. He's a long, athletic guy. He can play in space. He can rush the passer. He can set an edge. He does the things we need him to do. The next step in the evolution is really understanding how all the pieces fit. Now we can place him in a few different positions, and he just takes to it like a duck in water. I mean, it's no big deal at all for him.
What do you want to see from your guys? Obviously you want to win, but during this game, what do you want to learn about your defense out there?
Well, I'm hoping we're going to play with fanatical energy, tackle the ball very, very well, be resilient to bad things that happen. They do in every game, and ultimately fight to the end so that we can find a way to get a win.
Speaking of being resilient, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about the trip, going 3 time zones, the weather, the early start. Is any of that a concern, or do you feel like your guys are prepared?
Absolutely not. I think Coach Wilcox did a great job in addressing that early in the week. You acknowledge it. Guys, we ain't going to talk about it anymore. We're moving on. We've got to play somewhere, and so it really doesn't matter to us. We know we're playing against a quality opponent. They've got great players and they're very well coached.
Ashton Davis was now on the 2 deep for starting with kickoff return. What have you seen of him as a defender? Because you didn't really have him a whole lot during the spring.
Yeah, no, he was running track and he was dinged up. He's a tremendous athlete, and he's a guy that we identified. He could play corner, he can play safety. He's a physical, long guy. With us wanting to play some man coverage, I think he gives us some options on the slot. And so we've been force feeding him now at safety. We wish we'd have had him in the spring, but I really like the progress he's made.
How difficult is it to get a guy who you like? You look at it on tape like, man, okay, we can use him. Now it's going to be a crash course.
Well, that's just it. You got to force feed the reps. And a guy like Cam Good, we identified, got all those spring reps, and he's going to improve during the year, but he's ready to go. Ashton, most of the time he's ready to go, but it's not his fault. We moved him in the middle of fall camp. He'll play. It's just we'll see how quickly he can think and process and go make the plays that we know he can make once he knows what's going on.
Why move from corner to safety? Just because he was bigger and stronger and you want him center field?
Well, a little bit of that, and the fact that he can cover. A guy who's a big corner who can run with slot receivers. You like your matchups.
All right.
Thanks a lot.